Hey guys, I want to continue with sowing out, and I brought a fruit here that I harvested just a few months ago, maybe 1 month ago, so even less. And I want to get the seeds out of the fruit. I want to sow them out. So let's turn this camera around so you can see it. Okay. What I want to do is I want to sow these out with priority. We will rush these along. This is a fruit from Vers 11. That is a hybrid by Macondo Cactus now. They were called Cactin Vers before. Some really good stuff. If I had money right now, I would buy from them like a few plants, maybe 10, 15, but things are a little bit difficult right now. So we will just have to work with what we have, meaning making crosses with the plants that I have from them. I have Vers 11 and Vers 12, and both are very good. Both have potential for breeding. And yeah, they need to be sown out before the space runs out. I know it's always a problem. Even when you're growing indoors, at some point you just have so many seedlings that it gets difficult to even sow out the best ones. Yeah. So right now, it's Sunday, and it's getting cold. We're getting frost. So in the next few days, I will be outside with you with the camera, bringing the last remaining plants inside and closing up the greenhouses for good. We might have to put the heaters into the greenhouses. That will happen in the next couple of weeks. Right now it's still somewhat warm in the greenhouses, so I'm not worried, but outside with windows open, you can always have that kind of problem, losing plants and all. Okay, yeah, I want to clean these up a little bit, so I just roll them around on the piece of paper and remove all the little crumbles and dust that is left from the fruit. If you want to do it very well, you clean them again with water and let them dry. Would probably be the safest way, but I don't want to waste time, so we will do it like this. It was such a small fruit that it dried up instantly, and this has led to very clean seeds. You just have to remove all the organic material. And then we will sow them out. And this is not a lot, just a few, maybe 50 seeds at the most. Yeah, and we will continue to sow out now. I will get some soil. Okay. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Come on, man. This is enough. Okay, so I have a few square pots here. Not good quality. I was very unhappy with these. That happens when you can only buy the cheaper products. They are often also cheap in quality. So I'm not sure what happened with square pots, but in the last years a lot of them have decreased in quality. The plastic is not what it used to be. They break easily. Really don't like it. Okay. Hey, Kami. Yeah, I know. Kami is visiting me. Outside it's raining, storm and all, so she's very unhappy. I really want to get her like a jacket when it's cold. so we can still go out in winter. So these are the bags that we've been using. Might have to order new ones soon, but for now it's okay. So later I will do my pumpkin thing. I have planned that for today. I have a big pumpkin that I want to carve on camera, just because it's an important tradition in my house. Trying to continue doing traditions that I really liked, to stay on track, stay focused and all. Okay, a little bit water. We'll have to get some more. This is just not enough. Okay. Yeah, Kami keeps, she wants something, but it's sometimes not easy with a cat to know what exactly she wants in that moment, what kind of cat food or whatever. So, okay, yeah, this is seeds of Vers 11. We will put that on the heater. And then we will fill a few more of these, but first I wanna just have a look at the seedling containers, if there's something that we might have to remove from the heater because it gets too hot there. It doesn't seem like it. Might have to clean up there. Some of the containers that we've sown out a few weeks ago, they haven't come up, so my opinion, seed were probably dead, too old. So we will go through them again soon and pick the ones that where we feel like they still have a chance to come up. I usually do not keep containers closed for too long. When I feel like it's going nowhere, then I'm not just letting them sit. That is something that you can do with bigger seeds, tree seeds, or opuntia seeds, all that stuff. But everything, these small cactus seeds that are just sprinkled on the soil, they either come up or not. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Some need to have cold treatment, that kind of stuff. But a lot of them, it doesn't make sense to keep them like that for a very long time. In humidity, waiting for germination, when you did everything right, when the temperature was right, when the humidity was right, and if they don't come up at that point, open them up, let them dry, maybe give them another chance. Maybe the temperature was too hot in the beginning, that kind of stuff, you know. But it doesn't make sense to just leave them closed for like a year. I did that when I was starting up, when I started to grow cacti, and I don't think I got a lot of seedlings like that. Maybe the odd one here and there, but it doesn't justify the space that you're wasting when you could just start another container with a different kind of seed, you know. So now I will get some more seeds so we can sow out. So at some point when you're a breeder, you have so many seeds, you need to decide wisely what you want to sow out. Okay, so here's a Mamacita cross. I like Mamacita. We will sow that one out. A lot of the seeds from the last couple years I haven't numbered them. The official ones that got on a seed list, those I numbered. But every year there were a lot where my life was just too chaotic that I just felt like, you know what, I'm not sitting here like spending weeks just numbering seed bags. Yeah, might get back to it at some point, like numbering them all. But at the moment, I'm only doing it with the ones that I'm published, like that I'm releasing. And there are always hundreds of bags where I have like 3-4 corns of seed in a, for example, from a lobivia fruit. In those cases, I don't really spend a lot of energy on them. So like always, I clean them up. Yeah, and like I said, later I consider streaming the thing with the pumpkin, but I'm not entirely sure if that's a good idea, because it's a little bit, I don't know. I like to have the ability to pause, and when I'm live streaming, that is often not possible. I intentionally got me a new smartphone contract so I can stream more efficiently, like with a new camera and all that. And now it turns out I have 0 reception here, so we'll see how that goes with the streaming. Today they changed the clock again, set all the clocks 1 hour back. I'm not sure if this is a thing that's everywhere the same in all countries, but over here they're doing it, and it's such a I don't know. I don't like the idea. I don't like having to set the clock back and forth every year. That is something, I don't know who came up with that, you know? It's the type of stuff that where someone was having, like, I don't know, fever dreams and decided that's a great thing to do. I didn't even notice it. I just, you know, because the clocks these days adjust by themselves, so I just got up and thought, yeah, great, perfect timing. I got up at exactly the time I wanted, and I had actually slept an hour longer. Okay, so this is Mamacita. Not sure what the father is. We'll see. Okay. Ideally, you keep track of all the crosses, write down the fathers, the mothers, and all that. In the last 2 years, I've just had too much to do, so it doesn't matter to me. I seriously consider like going out of the work groups that require me to label everything. I just don't have the time and energy right now. I can usually tell when I look at a plant that is flowering. I can usually tell what's the parents, both of them, very often. I mean, you know, you always know the mother because the fruit has grown on the mother, and the father, in most cases, you can see it. There are exceptions when, for example, when the mother is just so dominant that you cannot see any kind of influence of the father. But in a lot of cases, you can see it. So yeah, this is a Humkes Roro. Yeah, let's do that one too. Humkes Roro is a multi-hybrid between a Hilde Winterer called Nolla 2. The breeder comes from where I lived, like where I grew up, Saarland State, I think. And yeah, good breeder. Did a lot of work with Hilde Winterer. It's not me, because the name is pretty similar. But it's because the area, like Saarland, the name's pretty common there in some areas. So I consider myself a Saarländer. That is like a little bit, I mean, it's German, you know, don't get me wrong, but Saarland is a place that is in between France and Germany. So it has a little bit of both. People are very interesting, have a unique accent. I love that place. It's a great place to live. Very green and all that, you know. Okay. So now we have Mamacita in this pot. Okay. We'll see how all that goes. I'm running out of space besides the heater. Might have to remove the ones that that haven't come up. Move them elsewhere. Because I need more space for the new ones. You know, that's a perfect example why I think it makes no sense to waste a lot of time with seeds that haven't come up. If it's something that is super unique that you will maybe never get again, then yeah, of course, do another round. Let it dry, water it again after a few weeks. Maybe give it a little bit of UV. You know, sometimes it helps to put a UV lamp onto the seeds, because you sprinkle the cactus seeds on the soil, and when the seeds get UV light, like when they are outside in the sun, that can speed up, can help increase the germination rate and all that. So if it's something rare, of course, give it another chance. But if it's something where you have 100 different crosses that are similar, just move on to another. There's so many seeds that it makes no sense to spend a lot of time. Okay, so this is a cross between Wörlitz, Cantora and Feathers. Good hybrid cross with potential. Needs cleanup here too. Very few seeds, which is something that I sometimes have on Wörlitz crosses. Yeah, so I want to talk about my plan for the future here with the channel. I decided I would just try to film as much as I can, go on camera as often as I can. I will, in the future, also answer questions. If you have questions, maybe I've seen that it works very well when you are doing live stream and you can see the questions coming in. Maybe we're trying that out. I want to film every day. Just to have a routine, because right now I need that. I had a lot of fun in summer doing all the videos that we did. So I want to continue filming. So we're doing stuff like this, checking on seedlings and all that stuff. Winter is long, and By the way, I want to say it again. I'm currently posting videos from the season of 2022. A lot of these look great, and I think that was before the time when YouTube had all these, when the shorts were so popular on YouTube. So there are a lot of videos that could go viral as shorts, and I wanna post them now, because at the time there was just not a like the social media landscape just didn't promote them the way they should have been. I started on Instagram, where they had something that was called Instagram TV. Barely anyone knew that they had this kind of stuff, and it was totally like there were constantly problems during the upload where I spent half an hour uploading and it failed. So at the time I've continued filming, because I had hoped that at some point there will be a chance to upload them, and that is now. So yeah, but they are older videos. Sometimes you might even see Snoopy. I don't want to delete the videos. It hurts me every time I see Snoopy in these videos, but I love him still today. I loved him back then, and seeing him, it breaks my heart, but also it would feel disrespectful to just delete them because he's in these videos sometimes, you know. Yeah, but I really want to stress that I'm not having summer. We're having winter here. I'm inside, just preparing everything for overwintering. When there are flower videos, they are from one of the seasons before, or the current season where I haven't uploaded them all. So I will upload them like on a daily basis, so you will see a lot of these kind of videos. Okay, next one. These are all good, you know. I look at the crosses. These are a lot of Lobivia crosses. I need to sow these out. I don't know. I need to find a way, because it's difficult when you're a breeder. You make all these crosses, and when you give them away, my experience from the past is a lot of people just, I don't know, they grow something, they kind of, you know, forget about the labels in the pot, or lose the label. Then a few years later, they have an amazing flower, show it on social media, and start, I'm not sure where these are from, but I named this plant Carl. You know, like, it is so extremely common that seeds that I send around, because I know I can see some of the parents in my crosses when they grow up, you know. And then I see plants where I'm pretty sure they are from my seeds, and people name them. Like, not, I have nothing against people naming plants, but at least reach out to the breeder and say, hey, what should we do about the name? Let me propose a name to you. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I would love to name this thing this and that, I'm okay with it. I'm not complaining, this kind of stuff, you know. But when someone just names a plant from a different breeder, or names the thousands Ikaru DNA, I'm done with that, you know. At the moment, I see so many plants on social media. You can often see the Icaro. You know, Icaro is a very classic population. And then I see, like, and then it's always a name, like, you know, that has already been given a few times. So the name doesn't stand anyway. All these names, you know, like David, there are many hybrids called that have that name. And like so many of the others before, they haven't been described, they haven't been propagated, they just disappear again. At some point, when you have when people are naming plants, they realize they shouldn't have named that because it's not unique enough to deserve a name. And at some point, they stop using the name. That is something that is a development that you have as a breeder. I definitely had that development. I started naming every single clone that I had in the beginning, just internally. I was like, you look like it, like this and that, and the longer I did it, the more I realized these names should only be given to stuff like Flying Saucer, Orange California, Born to be Wild, the classic incredible hybrids. Like TPM, okay, I mean, that's not really a name, it's more like a abbreviation, but you get the idea. Like the Sally hybrids they are very deserving of a name. That kind of stuff, But when you are beginning, you do not see that. When you are just getting into the hobby full of enthusiasm, that is something that I always understand. I understand it's basically an expression of love, that you want to name something, that you want to propagate something and keep it around. I get all that, It's just, when I look at all the names that are out there now, it's become a money-making thing very often, because names sell better than when you sell something as the hundreds Icaro, So I've taken a step back in regards to names. In the last years I've given very few. I named one Witchcraft, which is a hybrid between a multi-hybrid, the Gräser Hilde Winterer hybrid, and a columnar plant, like really nice columnar plant that flowered at like 30 centimeters. It was a very good cross at the time. And that was 2017. And now I'm seeing the first flowers from that cross. That is the type of stuff that I give a name for when I really see a nice flower where I'm like, oh, this should be propagated. And I don't have that very often when I'm going through the collection, when I see new flowers. This year I sorted out 250 plants maybe, and I should have sorted out more. First flowerers, a lot of them. Not all, but a lot. Okay. So, yeah, what was this here? Born to be Wild Sister. Okay, I want to split it up. This is just too many seeds. When you have a little bit over 100 seeds, I would split it up, because you can always lose one container. It goes very fast when you have a superficial fungal infection. It can spread like wildfire, and before you notice, it has gone through the whole pot. Okay. Yeah, and the channel is growing again. Very happy. See a lot of perspective for, I don't know when the last time was that I've really seen perspective. And on the other hand, I feel some social media networks, it makes no sense to try to please the algorithm anymore. I'm not seeing that. Let's talk about it. On Instagram, Instagram, I've had a reach of 270 million. Now they played around with it because they want people to pay. They want people to pay for traffic. They don't want the people to, like the creators, to just get visitors. The only thing that they have in mind right now is making money short term, and that is such a short-sighted view. I'm not sure why they are doing that, but it will be the end of the platform long term, because right now you got to always think about it from the side of a creator. If it makes no sense to use a platform, why use it? Right now I'm using Instagram as my portfolio, where I show the videos that I record, the plant videos, the photos and all that, a few memes here and there, but mostly that kind of stuff. And that's and photos of Mika and Kami, but that's what it is. People look at Instagram now and see what I do. You know, that is the main purpose. They find me on YouTube, for example, go to Instagram and see, okay, this is the guy. He's doing great work, you know, and I will not produce content to please algorithms anymore. Yesterday there was a problem on TikTok. I looked at TikTok and I'm not really doing much on TikTok, but I have an account to block the name and to just also, like a portfolio, I try to be present on on these networks. Right now my main priority is YouTube, but it's still an important like platform, you know. And then I looked and found like accounts that have cloned my account, you know. Like this guy has uploaded my own videos and photos of me with Mika and photos of me with Kami. And the username is something like also with Cactus jerk, you know? Like, so he's copied my name, he's copied my photos and videos, he's copied the text that I wrote below, and then I reported it for impersonation. And you know what? They said that's totally okay. We will let him continue to do that again. So I reported it. They said no, nothing problematic here. And I find that outrageous. I really find that outrageous. How much work you have to put into all that to just get your to just keep people from impersonating you. Because I've looked at the profile and it's full of other people's plans. Then I looked at the likes and it's all African accounts that have liked it. And this goes into the same direction as what we have in the Cactus groups, where people copy accounts and at some point they start selling. And then they start selling with my photo. So I gotta go against it. I reported that twice and they said nothing problematic here. So I decided to send in a copyright takedown, and I haven't heard back from them since. But I realized my traffic instantly plummeted, you know. So yeah, they don't like when you don't sit still and don't take the abuse without complaining. I really find it super problematic how easy it is to clone the accounts of well-known creators. Just look at Cactus Jones. He has a great account, posts great stuff, and I constantly see his photo being used for scam. That shouldn't be. They don't have to tell me that in the times of, you know, face recognition software that they're using everywhere, these networks cannot protect creators from that. And it's not even creators, it's normal people too. Should be no problem to say, hey, this guy is cloning your stuff. Should we take him down? But they aren't doing it. So yeah, We'll see how my copyright takedown works out. Usually it solves the problem, but in this case, I'm not sure. I can see them saying, hey, that's totally all right, you know? He just looks a lot like you. And I really don't get it, because it's basically devaluing their own platform. I just hope that they will have an epiphany at some point and realize, oh my god, all these scammers on our platform, it gives us a bad name. I remember a time when you could buy and sell on Cactus groups without having to worry about fraud. But in the last few years, they have completely dropped the ball. They have the means to filter out the accounts that have a false country, for example. A lot of these scammers don't even use like proxies or VPNs. They just use their home IP address, and it would be no problem to filter it out, but they aren't doing it because it's also click money. So that is a problem that I have with that. So I decided to just continue posting. I don't really try to please any algorithm anymore. And that is my recommendation. I'm a fool, totally gone, but believe me when I say, if you create your content to please a platform, they will just turn around and change it because they want people to pay them for having a lot of traffic. Everything I do, like all the reach, all the stuff, I do not pay for traffic. I do not pay for ads to get people to visit my page. I just believe good quality content stands against all of this. They will not show it. Okay, I've had that before. I have that profile on Instagram where I just post amazing cactus stuff, and it hasn't grown in forever, you know, because they aren't showing it to the followers, they aren't showing it to other people, but what they are showing is Steve Rogers shouting profanities, an AI video of Steve Rogers shouting profanities and fighting Hulk Hogan or whatever. The type of stuff where the original Steve Rogers would be disgusted. You know, that's the kind of stuff they are boosting on their platform. AI videos that are so bad. So that's what they get. That's what they deserve. Eventually, it will bring them down. Good content will always stand. It will not always like earn you a living. Don't get me wrong, but people will respect you, and if with a little bit of luck at some point it will take off. Okay, we have now 5 bags here. A little bit more soil, we'll do another 1 or 2 and then we stop. I don't want to have no voice anymore when I'm doing the pumpkin. We'll put the pumpkin here on the table and I would just, I don't know, try to do something with it. And I gotta warn you, I am the worst pumpkin carver that is living in this town, probably. I'm bad at everything artistic with my hands. I can do this kind of stuff, no problem, but I never really, I have bad handyman skills, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's do another one. This is a hybrid with Sunny, Lubivia hybrid. I want to grow a lot of Lubivias indoors. I have the hope that I can get them to flower indoors. so I don't have to waste all my space that I have for the lobevias in the greenhouses. Now we're doing this one. This is Lobevia winteriana. I need to sow out all the winterianas. They are great. So, about the seedlings, right now, if you have them under a lamp, like I do, make sure to check on them on a regular basis. How often? Doesn't matter. It really depends on how the environment is. How likely it is that you will lose seedlings, for example, due to heat death or due to drying out. That's why you should check them on a regular basis. Make sure there's no seedling that is rotting inside a closed container. Gotta make sure that the temperature is not too hot, that the soil is not too dry. These kind of things, because when you're sowing out and the soil is dry, nothing will come up. Seeds don't need a lot of humidity, but they do need a little bit of it. Little bit too many seedlings. Too many seeds in one container, but it doesn't matter. I think I gotta put a piece of wood onto the oven. Don't want the fire to go out. That wood oven is one of the best investments that I made in the last 20 years. Okay. Nice. Okay. All right, so we now have 6 new containers here. This is okay. Just so you see, there's not a lot of room. This is just for short term. The moment they get bigger, taller, the seedlings, you will have to change the bag or take them out. But for short term, this is good for 6 months. Okay, so yeah, this is what we did. These will go under the lamp, besides the heater, just to induce germination. And then, the moment we have seedlings, they will go under the lamp. The lamp should not be too hot. So if you're using, for example, these HPS lamps, they can get too hot. This here is the one that I'm using is an LED lamp, maybe 150 watt, and it makes the plants grow very fast, the seedlings. Everything that I have under the lamp looks great, so we will keep using it, but for now they go to the heater. All right. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. It's just fun seeing the channel grow. I would have never thought that I would be in this position one day, where I had perspective in life. I was poor for a large part of my life, and it greatly affected me, probably cost me quite a lot of years. But since I'm doing this, since I got into this cactus breeding and all that, it has greatly affected my life, changed it to the better. I made so many good friends. I feel like I have a purpose. And it's not even about growing cacti. We're just building a community. I don't know, we're seeing something grow together, I try to influence, I try to show you what's going on in my life. Right now, YouTube is growing, and that is what matters to me. I'm looking forward growing it to 10,000 subscribers. Right now, it's barely 4,500, and I'm so proud of it because it is so hard. Like, being on YouTube is one of the hardest things that I ever did, because on camera there's not much room for editing. You can always cut something out. You can not post something where you feel like you've been like giving a bad performance, but you're still you. And if you are, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't work, or you have to be true to yourself. People will eventually appreciate you. They will eventually respect you for just you being you. And that is my plan for the channel. I will just move on. Right now my life is a mess. But I see a little potential, like at the horizon. So I want to continue this. I want to do more on video. Probably streaming. But it's not something where I feel super comfortable with, but I want to try it, Yeah. And apart from this, I mean, going into winter now, I'm glad when winter's over, because I already miss all the videos that I could film in summer, But it'll come back. Next year we're definitely filming another season for the channel. Not sure if how many seasons I will film, because it's a lot of work. And but for now, we will do this. So yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have thoughts, write it in the comments. And yeah, I want to do that pumpkin thing later, but don't get your hopes up. It will look super ugly. Thank you.